Mr. Batten, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Madam President. The recent constitutional referendum in Turkey signals the end of democracy. The result in itself was highly dubious, given the accusations of electoral fraud. But even so, a large number of Turks voted against democracy and in favour of a form of dictatorship. Now, that's bad enough, but what's interesting and highly disturbing are the voting figures for Turkish citizens living in Europe who had an overseas vote. Despite a narrow majority being achieved overall, those Turks voting in Europe voted by large majorities for Mr. Erdogan's proposals. In France and Germany, that was over 60%, and in the Netherlands, Austria and Belgium, that was over 70%. So in Turkey, while half the voters chose to vote for democracy, those Turks living in Western liberal democracies voted by a large majority to abolish it. Now, perhaps those Turkish voters living in Europe might vote for a form of Islamic authoritarianism in Europe, given the chance. The logical conclusion of this vote is that those Turks living in Europe who voted for dictatorship and against democracy should have the courage of their convictions to live by their decision. They should migrate back to Turkey to enjoy the benefits of what they just voted for. And what if Turkey's bid to join the EU had been successful? That application was supported by the EU and in the UK by the Conservative, Labour, Liberal Democrat and Green parties. MEPs from those parties always voted in favour of Turkish accession. Needless to say, only UKIP MEPs voted against it. If Turkey had joined the EU, then we would now be faced with an interesting situation. You would have one country, Britain, trying to leave, and you'd have another country, Turkey, that you would want to expel. I just wonder if that would take as long, or would take as long, as the Brexit process.